Well, hello there. Welcome to a very special episode of Mask of the Slasher. Why don't you come along with us?
You're listening to Mask of the Slasher.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Mask of the Slasher. Can you believe we made it all the way to episode 4? But in all seriousness, guys, thanks to everybody who's subscribed or gave us a watch so far or a like. We really appreciate it. This past week was my birthday, and we've been celebrating all week, so we thought we'd continue the celebration here on the podcast. Today I'm just going to talk about 3 of my favorite horror movies, and hopefully they're movies that you enjoy too.
These are a few of my favorite horror movies. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Up first, Halloween 3, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. This is a movie that has taken a ton of flack over the years, a ton of flack. I'm sure all you know the story. Originally, they were gonna quit doing Michael Myers for the Halloween series and kind of turn it into an anthology with a different Halloween story every year. Obviously, with Halloween 3, they kind of crashed and burned because everybody was expecting more Michael Myers. The thing about Halloween 3 is I think if it had just been called Season of the Witch and it hadn't been associated with the Halloween franchise, it would have been an instant cult classic. But instead, here we are, however many years later, and now it's finally being considered a cult classic, I think.
And it wasn't until I met Josh that I watched this gem of a movie, which I have to say I've grown to love as well. It gives me a little heartwarming feeling. I don't know, something. It is definitely strange and different, and your boyfriend with Tom Atkins is once again in it.
Yes.
And still
the man.
Yeah, just still getting the young ladies.
Still the man.
But it is a good movie. It is different. It is fun. It was filmed in Southern California.
Yep.
In some little dinky town I don't even remember the name of. But someday we'll go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's great about a couple things I really think are great about this movie. One is that the plot is just so absurd. How can you not love it? Irish witches stealing a piece of Stonehenge.
They're aliens.
They're not aliens.
They're evil aliens.
They're not aliens.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, there was the whole thing. I just think the plot's just so wonderfully absurd. Witches stealing a piece of Stonehenge and chipping pieces off of it and inserting it into masks to sacrifice children on Halloween.
It was a lot.
Just beyond ridiculous, and I love that they really leaned into the ridiculousness of it. And then also I think the whole witchcraft and computers thing was kind of strangely ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird concept for early 80s especially, because just very interesting idea. And I love John Carpenter's soundtrack on this. It's a little more, in going with the theme of the movie, it sounds a little, obviously, he uses synthesizers for everything, but this soundtrack in particular sounds a little more computerized, you use a little more of the sequencers and things like that on this one in keeping with the theme of the movie, so I really like that a lot as well.
Those weird little pew,
there's got a lot of that going on.
There's a lot of those, but I can hear that soundtrack from a mile away and know exactly what it's from.
That's right. So this movie has it all. It's got witchcraft. It's got technology. It's got masks that make bugs come out of your face. It's got Tom Atkins. It's fantastic.
It is. It is a great movie. Definitely give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes, absolutely.
And, if you've only watched it one time or never, give it a shot.
Absolutely.
And
go in with an open mind. Forget Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, we love the first couple Halloweens with Michael in them, but forget everything you know about Halloween. Go into it with an open mind, and I think you'll find that you appreciate it a lot more that way.
Yes. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? The fireman's hat.
Oh yes, the floppy fireman hat.
Yeah. At the beginning of the movie, towards the beginning of the movie, there is a gentleman who he had gone to the factory to find out what was going on with his mask that he had ordered. For some reason, everybody physically went to the factory to pick up their orders.
Yes,
they did not believe in shipping.
No shipping, no delivery fleet.
No stamps.com.
That's Silver Shamrock, man. They're janky.
Yeah, they are janky.
Company.
Yes, it was really okay. So he goes to the factory and he finds out some information.
Yeah, he figures out what they're up to.
Exactly. He finds out about the aliens.
They're not. He gets chased by the androids, the Silver Shamrock androids, but he manages to escape. He gets to that gas station, which figures into the movie later on. He goes to the hospital. The android goes there and kills him, and then the android goes out to the car that he came in and blows himself up.
So the fireman's there, and he is having a very fake, poorly acted conversation in the background, I think with a police officer, in like the break room of the hospital. Incredibly inappropriate. But he's still wearing his fireman's hat.
Yeah, full gear. Full fireman gear.
Why? I don't know. And what he does is let's have this conversation.
Yeah. Like.
This is it, the whole time.
Yeah, and every time he moves his head, the little emblem on his fire helmet flops around like this. And it's the funniest damn thing. I never even noticed it until she pointed it out. Now every time I can't stop laughing every time I see it. But
it's probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah,
really.
Fantastic.
Stupid emblem.
Up next, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. This was actually a TV movie, believe it or not. And it was directed by Frank DiFolita, who actually, I found this out very recently, also wrote The Entity. So that was kind of interesting, one of your favorites.
It is one of my favorites. Spooky Porkin'.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we like to refer to it in our house.
So, Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, surprisingly, like, it's not gory or anything, but surprisingly scary and great atmosphere for a TV movie, I think.
Yeah.
Centers around a special needs gentleman who tries to help a little girl after she's been attacked by a dog. The evil post office worker who has it out for this guy, just assumes that he attacked the little girl who was actually his friend. He hides. His mother hides him in a scarecrow. They go out to the field and they kill him. From there, it kind of turns into a very creepy, very atmospheric ghost story.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one. That postmaster, mailman, whatever you want to call him, because he's everything in this small town. He's kind of a loser.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to make up for something.
Yeah, he lives in a boarding house.
Yeah.
And he always, no matter what the situation is or what's going on, he's always in his postal worker uniform, no matter what. Like, he owns no other clothes.
Yes. Absolutely.
As I mentioned, fantastic atmosphere throughout the whole movie, and it's just super suspenseful in that the entire movie, spoiler alert, the entire movie you're waiting for this damn scarecrow to move. You're waiting. It does not move until the very end. All it does is turn its head at the end, and it is so creepy.
Really
so creepy. I love it. It's great. It's fantastic.
And Josh gets to see some farm equipment go faulty.
That's right.
During this, and has to think about work.
That's true. If you've never seen Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, definitely check it out. A very different kind of horror movie. And very good, very well made, especially for a TV movie. I highly recommend that one.
Also, one I had never seen before until Josh, or heard of ever in my life.
Yeah. Okay, and then the final pick would be American Werewolf in London, directed by John Landis. I love this movie so much. I love werewolf movies, just to begin with, whether it's The Wolfman or The Howling or American Werewolf or Late Phases. Love pretty much all the good werewolf movies that are out there. This one in particular, though, it's funny, it's gross, of course, the transformation scene when he finally turns into a werewolf is just fantastic and just looks painful and just is agonizingly long. And they really linger over
Yeah.
the scenes where he's transforming. It's just a really well-made movie all throughout. The performances are great and feel committed. And there's some really weird, shocking scenes, like when he's dreaming and the Nazi werewolves break into the house and kill his family in front of him, and then it turns out, of course, that's just a dream. That's a shocking scene to me.
It really
even
is.
Still, you just are not. I mean, obviously now we've seen it a million times, but you're not expecting it.
No, I mean, and once again, yet another movie that I had never seen until I met Josh, and I was just in shock over the special effects makeup, which is my soft spot, which I'm pretty sure this is the great Rick Baker.
It is, in fact, the great Rick Baker.
Yes, which, because it was directed by John Landis, and both of them did Thriller.
Yes, they did.
We just watched it again the other day. Have to watch it at least once a year.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I think it's a great movie.
It is a great movie, and yeah, the effects throughout it are fantastic. One of my favorite parts, and one of the funniest parts, is his friend, the main character's friend, who gets killed in the beginning. He keeps appearing to him in visions, and every time you see him, he's a little more rotten, a little more decayed.
And hilarious.
Because he's got a real smart-ass sense of humor throughout the whole thing. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. On any given day, American Werewolf in London could be my favorite horror movie of all time. It just depends on the day, because it always changes. You know, I'm always thinking, well, what are my favorites? And it always changes. Movies are always shuffling around as far as rankings concerned, but on any given day, that's always going to be probably at least in my top 5 of all time for sure. Just a fantastic movie throughout.
The ending's even shocking.
Yeah, the ending is very shocking.
And sad.
Absolutely. And sad, yes. No happy ending in that one.
No, I really had hoped for that when we first watched it, and I was so disappointed because I don't like unhappy endings.
And surprising, too, for an American movie from that time period to not have some kind of happy resolution.
Yeah.
Pretty surprising.
It was,
You expect that from, like, Asian movies or European movies to not have happy endings, but not for an American movie made by a well-known director like John Landis, for sure.
Absolutely.
So
as part of the week-long celebration of Josh's birthday, today we finalized that by going and seeing Thanksgiving by Eli Roth.
Yes.
Josh, please explain, because I had never heard of this, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, for those who aren't familiar, there was a film, or as a double feature actually, called Grindhouse that came out, so I want to say it was like early to mid 2000s. I don't remember the years off the top of my head, but it was shown as a double feature, as 2 films, and one was directed by Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror, and the other directed by Quentin Tarantino, Death Proof. Shown as like an old school double feature, and then in between the 2 movies, they showed all these trailers for fake films. Eli Roth did a trailer for Thanksgiving. Rob Zombie did a trailer called Werewolf Women of the SS. There were a couple others. Hobo with a Shotgun was one of them, which actually ended up getting made into a movie as well. But anyway, so it's been, sort of gestating for a long time, and now here we actually have a full movie of Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. And
I did not anticipate this being a good movie. Frankly, we had a late fun night, and I dragged my sad, tired butt to the theater today and just barely made it there. And I was shocked at how good it was in the end. I'm not going to give any spoilers on this because it's so new, and I absolutely, if you love horror and you love some gore, because I'm a fan of gore, this is the movie for you.
Yes.
It had a great story, had great acting.
Yes.
Despite the fact that it was based off of a joke, it still turned out so good. And I intend on purchasing it when it comes out.
Absolutely. I think it's the best thing I've ever seen from Eli Roth, honestly. Like, I'll be honest, not a huge fan of his movies typically, but this was really good, and I think the reason I liked it so much is because, obviously, throwback to 80s slasher movies, which we both love.
Yeah.
But also the fact that they didn't shy away from leaning into the ridiculousness of the subject matter, and really going over the top with it. Which I thought was great. Yeah. I really enjoyed it a lot.
they made good points about society and
Yes.
how we feel and act about Thanksgiving these days,
Yes.
and the festivities around it.
Yes.
So it was just a good movie, and McDreamy's in it. All right. Anybody who ever watched Grey's Anatomy knows who McDreamy is, and I was shocked to see him in this. But you know,
Yes.
I guess everybody needs a paycheck. Once
That's
in a
right,
while.
absolutely. And as a paycheck well earned, because this was a very good movie. We give it each give it 2 thumbs up.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it had a great song at the end.
It did. I won't spoil it for you, but my favorite band has a song at the end, so it was a good way to cap off my birthday week for sure.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. If you like our videos, be sure to subscribe. It really helps us out. We appreciate it. Hit us with a like. What are your top 3 horror movies? Let us know in the comments, or even just what are 3 of your random favorites, the first ones that come to your mind. We'd love to discuss with you. Again, you can comment. You can hit us up on social media. Email us at maskoftheslasher@gmail.com, whatever is more convenient for you. But again, until next time, thanks for watching and take care. I hope you have a horror-filled holidays.
Bye.
Bye.